Today we'll see where the GTA 5 storyline would go if in the prologue, Trevor spotted Dave when he was standing there with a sniper and got him right after he got Brad. So the moment Brad goes down, Trevor spots Dave, and before he could run away through the deep snow, Trevor massacres Dave, and Michael, who realizes his plan just went down the drain, has to keep his mouth shut, and him and Trevor would have to run into the fields together, barely making it out of there alive. And after meeting back up with Lester, the trio would decide to keep going at least for now. And even though Michael wanted to leave the game and had a plan, that plan failed, so instead Michael would just nut up, and months later, after having a close call with death during a job, Michael would decide that he has had enough. And although Trevor would be upset, I do think that he'd respect Michael's decision, as Trevor's not stupid. He himself in a hangout after the game says that he shouldn't have reacted how he did, and that he understands that Michael had a young family to look after. And with this, Michael would go with his savings and leave for Los Santos with his family, saying his goodbyes to Lester and Trevor. And I imagine that Trevor would maybe try to persuade Lester to get some more people on board and continue, but Lester wouldn't really want anything to do with Trevor, so as such for now he would be out too, and the gang would completely split off for the next 9 years. However, Michael would still end up in Los Santos with his family, and he'd eventually run out of money, and by 2013 he meets Franklin, has issues with Martin, and they go for the jewel store job. Trevor would be out in Sandy Shores, and he would track down Michael and show up to his house just like in the original, but this time the circumstances are a lot less tense. Although Trevor would be a bit salty about Michael being back in the game with Lester on board without ever bothering to inform or contact him. Real quick though, if you're enjoying this video so far, leave a like on it and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 3K subs before GTA 6, so let's go ahead and try to make that happen. The good thing about this reality is that they have no involvement with the feds at all, zero. And the trio would then, after Michael and Trevor's reunion, do the dumbest heist in history, that being the Merriweather heist, which wouldn't change in any way, it would stay the same. Blitzplay would never happen as the feds aren't in the picture, and this then means that the crew would never meet Devin Weston, and Michael wouldn't really ever be able to go into business with Solomon Richards. After this, Michael and Trevor do a job for Madrazo. They go on the run, do the Polito score, however not for the feds but for themselves, because they'd likely be low on money anyway at this time. And after the Polito score, they would actually be able to split a lot of the money between each other and not give any of it to the feds, making them a lot richer. They take care of the O'Neills and square things with Martin Madrazo, and upon returning to Los Santos, Trevor would take over the strip club and the gang would begin planning the big one. The big one plans would here go completely uninterrupted, as Michael never faked his death in this reality, and Trevor saw Brad die and never had any of those fake emails, so he knew that Brad was dead and there was no grave in North Yankton marked Michael Townley. This also means that Michael would never get in trouble with the Chinese or even do the FIB raid. Instead, he'd just get his family back. However, someone would be in trouble, and that someone is Solomon Richards. And just like in all of my previous videos where Michael and him never met, Solomon is yet again sadly powerless against Devin Weston, and he wouldn't even be able to release Meltdown. The trio would also save Lamar just like in the original before moving on to the big one, which would happen just like in the original game. Nothing changes there. Now, what about the final mission? Well, the feds aren't in the picture, nor is Devin Weston, but we do still have the matter of Wei Chang and, more importantly, Stretch, which I do imagine that Michael would go for Stretch just like he did in the original, and Franklin would go for the Triads, as the Triads would be a problem for Trevor despite them not kidnapping Michael in this reality. My final thoughts on this is that this is definitely a you win some you lose some situation, specifically for Michael, because while him and Trevor would probably be on much better terms in this reality, this comes at the cost of Michael never meeting Solomon Richards and never getting involved in the movie business. And with that said, I want to thank you for watching this video. Leave your thoughts and opinions on this what if in the comments down below. Maybe leave some of your what if suggestions as well. If they're good enough, I might do them in a future video. Until next video stream, bye bye.